Hello and welcome to Factlift. You wake up to the sound of birds chirping outside your window. You stretch, yawn, grab your phone and try to check social media, but the app won't load. You try again. Still nothing. What the hell? You turn on the TV, but it's just static. Your heart starts racing. Is this the end of the world? You try calling 911, but the call doesn't go through. You hear a knock at the door. It's your neighbor, Mary, looking worried. She tells you that her son was supposed to fly back from college today, but his flight seems to have been canceled for some reason. She saw similar messages about other flights on the news website, but it won't load right now. You try calling your husband, but there's no dial tone. You walk over to the window and look out onto your street. All seems normal at first. Kids are riding their bikes, dogs are playing, parents are tending their gardens. But there's something off about it. There's no cars on the road. No background music coming from someone's Bluetooth speaker. No lawnmower buzzing, not even a delivery drone buzzing overhead. You try to dismiss it, saying that maybe your phone just isn't working. You try calling your husband again, but still no dial tone. Something feels very wrong, but you have to get to work. So you lock the house and start walking to your office downtown, wondering what the hell is going on. What you're witnessing is what would really happen if the internet were to go down worldwide. And the worst part is this is not science fiction. Researchers predict it could actually happen within our lifetime. So let us imagine what would happen if one day you woke up and the internet was gone everywhere. Here's what would really happen if the internet just shut down. In the first few days after the internet went down, people around the world would realize something was wrong. They wouldn't be able to load anything. No emails. No text messages, no YouTube videos, no Google searches, no Facebook posts. People would not be able to work from home since so many companies rely on cloud computing and software applications. Those who use a computer for work would scramble to figure out an alternative way to do things. The chaos would extend beyond individual households and affect emergency services. Many police, fire, and medical services rely on digital mapping systems to respond to emergencies. They'd be forced to pull out old paper maps to try to figure out where they need to go. As time went on, the banking systems would also begin to falter. ATMs would stop working, credit card terminals would not process payments. Banks would close because employees would not be able to connect to their mainframe computers and confirm transactions. People would be able to withdraw cash from their accounts, but banks would not be able to make transfers between institutions. Soon, people would run out of cash and have to carry around wheelbarrows of money for basic goods and services. After several days of no social media, users would begin to panic, and some would believe that the blackout was part of a government conspiracy. Others would claim the end of the world was near. And with no internet or cell service to verify any information, fake news would spread like wildfire via radio and TV. Within a few hours, the entire world would know what you knew all along, that there was a major problem. But nobody knew exactly what was happening. On day 3, people would begin to notice other failures. Traffic lights would fail, airports would freeze. Grocery stores would be unable to restock their shelves due to broken supply chains. Cars would pile up at intersections. Airplanes would be grounded, shelves would be empty. Cities would descend into confusion and gridlock. Cash would become king again. And those who had stashed away boxes of quarters, dimes, and nickels in their garage would become the new millionaires. But these events would only mark the beginning of the end. As the world began to descend into total chaos, stock markets would freeze. Cryptocurrency would become useless. Billions of dollars in profits and investments would disappear overnight. Major companies that relied on the internet would cease to exist. Thousands upon thousands of workers would be laid off, leading to a massive economic downturn. Within a few weeks, governments would declare martial law in many regions. Some countries would blame each other for the cyber attack, blaming Russia, China, North Korea, or some other rogue nation for causing the blackout. Military leaders would activate war rooms to coordinate a response. But since communications were down, they would not be able to get through to each other anyway. In reality, they'd likely find that no one was behind the attack. It was just a massive failure of the electrical grid. But they wouldn't know that for a long time. So let's fast forward 5 years. It's been 1 year since the internet went down. The world is a very different place. Global economies have collapsed. Countries have closed their borders. Barter systems and local economies have replaced the global marketplace. And since there's no longer any electricity to power servers, there's no such thing as a World Wide Web anymore. But people have found ways to connect to each other. They've created decentralized physical networks to communicate over long distances. It's taken months, but postal systems have begun delivering mail once more. And newspapers have resumed printing. Radio broadcasts have become popular again. And people have begun holding public forums to discuss ideas and information. They've even started using carrier pigeons to deliver messages quickly across short distances. Since there's no more internet or television, people are rediscovering books. Libraries have become centers of learning and knowledge once again. Local farmers' markets have replaced large grocery stores. Since there's no refrigeration, most food is perishable and has to be consumed soon after it's harvested. And since there's no more Uber or Lyft, kids are walking or biking to school instead of being driven. Parents are homeschooling their children whenever they can. And homeschooling coops are popping up around the country. Teachers are getting together with other educators in their area to share resources and teach the next generation. It's been 1 year since the internet went down and humanity is still here. We've managed to adapt to a world without the global marketplace, but we're no longer connected. We're surviving, but we're no longer thriving. So what's the lesson here? The internet gave us global unity, but also global dependence. If it disappeared tomorrow, would we survive it? Or would we be forced to remember how to live without it? How long do you think you could survive if the internet just shut down tomorrow? Let us know your thoughts. And before you go, if you're benefiting from the content we create, please share this video so that it can help others too. Thanks for watching.